All right. Sorry this is so late. Day 5. I've had a very, very long day, but I don't want to get behind. So I'll upload this. Of course, you're probably not going to be listening to this on the actual day, but at least they'll be here for as long as YouTube is around. You'll have it on time next year. So December 5th, the scripture is Isaiah 40, verses 3 through 5. I love Isaiah. Oh, I love it so much. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway to our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. Our song is Joy to the World. Yahoo! Ready to sing along? Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Rejoice, rejoice when Jesus reigns, and saints her songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more will sin and sorrow grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He'll come and make the blessings flow. Far as the curse was found, far as the curse was found, far as the curse was found. Rejoice, rejoice in the Most High, while Israel spreads abroad, like stars that glitter in the sky. And ever worship God, and ever worship God, and ever worship God. Funny story about and ever worship God. I had a friend who was very sad during that song one time when she was hearing people sing it, and she thought they were saying, and never worship God. She's like, wait, I thought we believed in God. I'm like, yes, this is a great song. And never worship God and never worship God? What does that mean? I had to slap her upside the head. Christmas Day in the morning. This is such a great cozy story. Get comfy on your couch. Pearl S. Buck wrote this old story, and it's still fun to read 1,000 times. He woke suddenly and completely. It was 4 o'clock, the hour at which his father had always called him to get up and help with the milking. Strange how the habits of his youth clung to him still 50 years ago, and his father had been dead for 30 years, and yet he waked at 4 o'clock in the morning. He had trained himself to turn over and go to sleep, but this morning it was Christmas. He did not try to sleep. Why did he feel so awake tonight? He slipped back in time as he did so easily nowadays. He was 15 years old and still on his father's farm. He loved his father. He had not known it until one day, a few days before Christmas, when he had overheard what his father was saying to his mother. Mary, I hate to call Rob in the mornings. He's growing up so fast and he needs his sleep. Oh, if you could see how he sleeps when I go in to wake him. I wish I could manage alone. Well, you can't, Adam. His mother's voice was brisk. Besides, he isn't a child anymore. It's time he took his turn. Yes, his father said slowly, but I sure do hate to wake him. When he heard these words, something in him woke. His father loved him. He had never thought of it before, taking for granted the tie of their blood. Neither his father nor his mother talked about loving their children. They had no time for such things. There was always so much to do on the farm. Now that he knew his father loved him, there would be no more loitering in the mornings and having to be called again. He got up after that, stumbling blind with sleep, and pulled on his clothes and his eyes tight shut, but he got up. Then, on the night before Christmas that year when he was 15, he lay for a few minutes thinking about the next day. They were poor, and most of the excitement was in the turkey they had raised themselves and the mince pies his mother made. His sisters sewed presents, and his mother and father always bought something he needed, not only a warm jacket, but maybe something more, such as a book. And he saved and bought them each something too. He wished that Christmas he was 15. He had a better present for his father. As usual, he had gone to the 10-cent store and bought a tie. It seemed nice enough until he lay thinking the night before Christmas. He looked out his attic window. The stars were bright. "Dad," he had once asked when he was a little boy, "what's a stable?" "It's just a barn," his father replied, "like ours." And Jesus had been born in a barn, and to a barn the shepherds had come. The thought struck him like a silver dagger. Why should he not give his father a special gift too, out there in the barn? He could get up early, earlier than 4. He could creep into the barn and get all the milking done. He'd do it alone, milk and clean up. And then, when his father went to start milking, he'd see it all done, and he would know who had done it. Oh, he laughed to himself as he gazed at the stars. It was what he would do. He mustn't sleep too sound. He must have waked 20 times, scratching a match each time to look at his old watch. Midnight, 1:30, then 2 o'clock. At 2:45, got up and put on his clothes. He crept downstairs, careful of the creaky boards, and let himself out. The cows looked at him, sleepy and surprised. It was too early for them, too. He had never milked all alone before. Oh, but it seemed almost easy. He kept thinking about his father's surprise. His father would come in and get him and say he would get things started while Rob was getting dressed. He'd go to the barn, open the door, and then he'd go to get the 2 empty milk cans. And they wouldn't be waiting or empty. They'd be standing in the milk house filled. "What the?" he could hear his father exclaiming. He smiled and milked steadily. 2 strong streams rushing into the pail, frothing and fragrant. The task went more easily than he had ever known it to go before. Milking, for once, was not a chore. It was something else, a gift to his father, who loved him. He finished the 2 milk cans. He covered them and closed the milk house door carefully. Back in his room, he had only a minute to pull off his clothes in the darkness and jump into bed, for he heard his father up. He put the covers over his head to silence his quick breathing. The door opened. "Rob," his father called, "we got to get up, son, even if it's Christmas." "Oh, all right," he said sleepily. The door closed, and he lay still, laughing to himself. In just a few minutes, his father would know. His dancing heart was ready to jump from his body. The minutes were endless. 10, 15, he didn't know how many, and he heard his father's footsteps again. The door opened, and he lay still. "Rob!" "Yes, Dad?" His father was laughing, a queer, sobbing sort of laugh. "Thought you'd fool me, did you?" His father was standing beside the bed, feeling for him, pulling away the cover. "It's for Christmas, Dad." He found his father and clutched him in a great hug. He felt his father's arms go around him. It was dark. They could not see each other's faces. "Rob, I thank you. Nobody ever did anything nicer." "Oh, Dad, I want you to know I do want to be good." The words broke from him of their own will. He didn't know what to say. His heart was bursting with love. he got up and pulled on his clothes again, and they went down to the Christmas tree. Oh, what a Christmas! And how his heart had nearly burst again with shyness and pride as his father told his mother and made the 3 younger children listen about how he, Rob, had got up all by himself. The best Christmas gift I ever had, and I'll remember it, son, every year on Christmas morning so long as I live. They had both remembered it. And now his father was dead. He remembered it alone. That blessed Christmas dawn when alone with the cows in the barn, he had made his first gift of true love. So I hope you guys give each other gifts of true love this Christmas. Acts of service can be way more important than one more bottle of perfume or smelly soap or candles or anything like that. Gifts of love, especially for your parents. It shows them how much you love them. And I hope you know that your parents love you very much. Bye for now.